This is marriage wisdom for wives who want a long marriage. Respect cannot be demanded back. It has to be rebuilt. And rebuilding takes longer than breaking ever did. When roles shift inside a marriage, respect shifts with it. Not always intentionally, but naturally. When a wife steps into leadership repeatedly, a husband can begin stepping back emotionally, not because he doesn't care, but because space was taken instead of offered. And once patterns form, they don't reverse overnight. You cannot snap your fingers and say, "Be the man again." Confidence does not return on command. Leadership does not return under pressure. Respect does not grow in criticism. Respect grows in safety. When a man feels emotionally safe to step forward again, he begins trying again. But many wives unknowingly block that process. They want immediate change, immediate initiative, immediate leadership. But leadership grows where it is welcomed, not where it is monitored. If every attempt he makes is corrected, he stops attempting. If every decision is questioned, he stops deciding. If every effort is minimized, he stops offering effort. You cannot rebuild respect while still controlling outcomes. Rebuilding respect requires restraint. It requires allowing imperfection. It requires patience. It requires letting him do things differently than you would. Different is not wrong. Different is masculine expression. Some wives sabotage restoration because they narrate everything. They comment constantly. They supervise constantly. They correct constantly. And supervision kills initiative. You cannot supervise someone into confidence. Confidence grows when someone is trusted, even imperfectly. Respect also grows when appreciation becomes louder than criticism. Not fake praise, not manipulation, but genuine acknowledgement. Men expand where they feel valued. They retreat where they feel inadequate. Long marriages understand something. Respect is not a reward. It is an environment. You create it daily through tone, through response, through restraint, through gratitude, through patience. You cannot humiliate a man publicly and expect him to lead privately. You cannot tear him down emotionally and expect him to rise confidently. Respect is oxygen. Without it, initiative suffocates. Now hear this clearly. Rebuilding respect does not mean silence. It does not mean tolerating irresponsibility. It does not mean ignoring problems. It means changing how correction happens. Private instead of public. Calm instead of cutting. Constructive instead of destructive. Because dignity preserved produces growth. Humiliation produces resistance. Long marriages are not built by perfect partners. They are built by partners who learn how to handle each other wisely. And wisdom takes time. So if respect has been damaged, do not panic. Do not rush. Do not demand. Model it. Speak it. Create room for it. Because what is consistently modeled eventually becomes normal again. And that is how long marriages move from tension back to partnership. And there is another part of this that wives do not like to admit. Sometimes respect was not taken. Sometimes it was handed over. Out of impatience, out of frustration, out of, I'll just do it myself. You asked him to handle something. He didn't move when you thought he should. He didn't respond when you expected him to. He didn't take initiative on your timeline. So you stepped in. You handled it. You fixed it. You solved it. And at first, it felt efficient. It felt productive. It felt responsible. But something subtle happened. When you stepped fully into his responsibility repeatedly, you trained him to let you. Not because he is weak, not because he doesn't care, but because you demonstrated that you preferred control over delay. And over time, he adjusted. He stopped reaching. He stopped initiating. He stopped competing with your efficiency. He relinquished space. And then one day, you became frustrated that he no longer steps into that space. But he didn't snatch it back from you. You gave it up. This is where resentment quietly grows. Because now you are tired. Now you feel overworked. Now you feel like you are carrying too much. Now you feel like you are the man and the woman. But the transfer did not happen overnight. It happened through repetition. When you take a man's responsibility long enough, he eventually believes you prefer it. And once he adjusts to that dynamic, it is very hard to reverse it. Because now, when you say, handle it, he hears critique is coming. He hears supervision is coming. He hears, if I don't do it your way, it won't be good enough. So instead of stepping back into leadership, he avoids conflict. And avoidance looks like passivity. But sometimes passivity is protection. Protection from criticism. Protection from being told he is not doing enough. Protection from being told he is not doing it right. You cannot train someone out of their space and then demand they fight to reclaim it. Restoration takes humility. Sometimes it takes you saying, I stepped in too quickly. I didn't give you room. I corrected more than I trusted. That kind of ownership softens a man. And when a man softens, leadership returns gradually. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. And there is another side of this that is dangerous. If you constantly tear down his spirit, but he stays. If you belittle him, but he stays. If you correct him publicly, but he stays. If you call him weak, but he stays. You may begin to mistake his commitment for weakness. You may begin to label him soft. You may even call him a jellyback man. But what if he is staying because his word is his bond? What if he is staying because he values covenant? What if he is staying because he loves you deeply, even when you are not respecting him properly? There are men who endure quietly, not because they are powerless, but because they are principled. And you do not want to see the day a principled man reaches his breaking point. Because when a quiet man finally decides he is done, it is not emotional. It is final. Long marriages are not built by breaking each other's spirit. They are built by protecting each other's dignity, especially in front of children, especially in front of family, especially in public. When you disrespect your husband publicly, you do not elevate yourself. You lower the atmosphere of your entire home. Children absorb that energy. Family notices that tone. And over time, it erodes partnership. Respect is not about dominance. It is about atmosphere. You are the thermostat, not the thermometer. A thermometer reacts. A thermostat sets. If you set dignity, dignity grows. If you set criticism, distance grows. If you set appreciation, initiative grows. And if you want long marriage, you must decide, do I want to win moments or build legacy? Because you cannot be the man and the woman emotionally and still expect peace. Leadership inside marriage is not about gender competition. It is about complementary roles. When you allow him space, when you reduce correction, when you restore dignity, when you stop rehearsing control, respect slowly rebuilds. And when respect rebuilds, initiative follows. And when initiative returns, partnership strengthens. And that is how long marriages move from tension back to alignment. And that is how long marriages are built.